Hey there, and welcome to the Girl Means Business podcast, the show that's all about helping photographers just like you build a thriving business without sacrificing your sanity. I'm your host, Kendra Swalls, a former teacher turned full-time photographer and marketing coach, here to fill your earbuds each week with practical tips, real-life stories, and a whole lot of encouragement. So if you're ready to dive in, let's get to it because this girl means business. Hey friend, welcome back to the Girl Means Business podcast. Okay, we're going to dive right into this one because this is a jam-packed episode. We are talking about 3 ways that you can get more photography clients without having to focus on social media. This is going to be a theme you're going to hear me talk about quite a bit on the podcast because over the last year or two, I have really become very burned out, and burned out isn't even really the word I like to use. I've just become very aware of how dependent a lot of us are on social media for our business. And yes, social media has its moments. It has its good qualities. I'm not saying that you need to abandon social media completely for your business. That's not at all what I'm trying to say here. However, I feel like we put too much emphasis on likes and follows and clicks and comments and all of these frivolous things that aren't actually helping you get more clients. Because you could have 1 million followers on social media, but if it's not actually translating into paying clients, then it kind of defeats the whole purpose. So what I want to do with this podcast and what I want to do with everything I'm helping photographers with is I really want to focus on how can you grow your business with tried and true marketing strategies that have worked well beyond social media. Because with social media, you have a very unstable ground that you are building your business on. And I know this is probably not new information for any of you listening because you're well aware of just how unstable social media can be. But just in the last week, I have seen 3 or 4 very successful small businesses that were thriving on social media that have had to create new accounts because their account got shut down or it got hacked. One of them was hacked and they lost everything. Another one, their account just randomly was closed by Instagram. No explanation why. Another one was a Facebook group that they had grown to thousands of followers, and Facebook decided that they were going to shut down because it was going against the community standards. And so there's all these different reasons. And yeah, you can fight it, and some of them might get their accounts back. The Facebook one will probably get her group back because she really wasn't violating anything. But it's not, you don't have ownership of it. You are putting out content, which is great, but you don't always have control over what happens once you put it out there. With other strategies, you have more control. And that's what I want you to focus on is while social media can be a tool in your toolbox, I want you to also put as much energy or more energy and effort into some of these other marketing strategies that are going to be a little bit more stable, a little bit more solid, and I feel like are going to result in more quality leads for your business. So let's dive into them. I have 3 we're going to talk about today. Now, obviously, there's more than just these 3, but these are kind of the 3 that when I work with coaching clients, when I work with clients who are coming in to do done-for-you content with me, these are the things that we sort of focus on as getting like a foundation for their marketing strategy. Now, the first one is going to come as no surprise. If you have been here for any amount of time, you know this is a strategy that I absolutely love. It's near and dear to my heart, and that is email marketing. So email marketing is what I like to call like the quiet monster of marketing, of digital marketing. It's been around since email marketing or emails came about. It kind of took over the idea of like postcard or physical mailing, marketing. That still exists. You all probably still get things in your mailbox from a lot of times realtors or local businesses that are advertising things. So actual physical mail marketing still works. Email marketing is super powerful because of a couple of different reasons. One, it's way more reliable than social media. You own your email list. It's not going anywhere. It's, you're not having to worry about is your email marketing platform going to shut down. If you switch email marketing platforms, you can take your list with you. There's so many more reasons why it's more stable. But one of the things I love about email marketing is it takes away the noise that you have on social media. When you put out a piece of content on social media, let's say you're putting out a post about your, upcoming mini sessions that you're offering, and you are trying to fill up your spot. So you go on social media and you put out a post. That post is competing with all the other content that is being flooded into those platforms at any given moment. It's like standing on a street corner in Times Square and trying to yell out to people passing by, and you want them to focus, but they're distracted by all of these shiny things. They have, flashing lights and big billboards, and all these things are coming at them. And then there's your voice over here going, hey, I have this thing. You want to check it out? It's going to get lost in the noise. With email marketing, you are cutting out all that noise because you are going directly to each person's individual inbox. So not only are you cutting out the noise, but it feels more personal too, because you're addressing them one-on-one. So we'll use that same scenario. If you're standing in Times Square and there's all these people passing by and there's all these things happening around them that's distracting them, if you are able to give them like an envelope with their name on it and a handwritten note inside, and they can put it in their bag, and they can put it in their pocket, and they can read it when they have time, when they're back in their room, in their hotel room, and it's quiet or wherever, that is what email marketing is. It is a way to reach your audience without all the distractions. It is more focused, it is more intimate, and it is a much easier way to actually turn subscribers into paying clients. Because when someone opens their inbox, as opposed to opening social media, when someone opens social media, they're there to be entertained. They're there to just kind of scroll and be mindless and take a break from everything else. When someone goes to open their inbox, they are in the mindset of, I'm here to consume content and possibly make decisions. And so your email marketing has a much more of like a power punch for each email you send out versus social media. Now, there's a million other reasons I could get into for why email marketing is one of the top strategies I recommend to all of my clients. And it's why I offer done-for-you email marketing for photographers. If that's something you're interested in, you're more than welcome to send me an email or a DM, and I'm happy to chat with you more about that. But I honestly believe that it is one of the most powerful marketing strategies and tools you can have in your toolkit. So there are other episodes I have done and will do where we dive deeper into email marketing. But for the sake of this episode, I'm going to move on to the next two strategies because they are super powerful as well. So number 2 is a combo strategy we're going to do here, which is utilizing SEO and Google My Business. Now, let's start with SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. It is how easy is it for someone to find you and your business if they are going to Google and searching for a photographer that does what you do in your area. So the way that SEO works is you think about, someone gave me this visual one time and it really stuck with me, so I'm going to share it with you. Imagine that each time someone goes into Google and they type words into the search bar, there are millions of these like little bugs, if you will, little crawlers that scatter out into the internet. And they are looking for anything that matches those keywords, and they are going to grab it and they are going to pull it back into that search. And what they're going to rank them based on several criteria. So you're going to see the ones first that have the most matches, and then it's obviously going to decrease the further down you go. So let's put this into a real life example. Okay, let's say that you are a lifestyle newborn photographer. So you go into families' homes or you have a studio, but you do not necessarily do the posed newborn photography. You are all about like the lifestyle vibe. So you're a lifestyle newborn photographer, and let's say you're based out of Waco, Texas. Okay, and I'm using that as an example because it's not a huge town. It's not like a Dallas or an Austin or a Houston or, again, I'm using Texas towns because that's what I know. I grew up in Waco. It's big enough to have enough people searching, but it's not huge. So if you live, just a little side note, if you live in an area like a Dallas, Austin, Houston, Nashville, Denver, whatever, you want to try to maybe use the suburb towns, smaller towns also in your keywords. Okay. So let's go back to this idea. You're a lifestyle newborn photographer located in Waco, Texas. You want to be creating content on the internet that is going to use keywords that your ideal client is searching for. So for example, you could put out blog content. You could put content or words on your website. Even, social media posts count for this too, because sometimes Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and things like that, they all pop up as search results now. You could be putting out, like I said, do behind the scenes videos and put them on YouTube. Or again, blog posts is kind of the number one I go to because it's easy. It's written word, because those little crawlers that go out onto the internet and find things, they grab onto words, not images, words. So if you're creating blog content that is using words that are going to get searched for, you're going to get found. This happened to me years ago. I kind of saw this happen in real life or in real time. I was doing like senior photography and I started blogging all the time, and I would blog about sessions and I'd blog about location ideas. I'd blog about all these different things. And I made sure that every single photo had a title that used keywords. So when I pulled it into my blog, I would give it a title. I would say like South Lake Senior Photographer, Fort Worth Senior Photography, whatever it is. And what I found was the more I blogged, the more photos I put in there with keywords attached to them. When people would go and search, and you can pull it up now. If you go search for South Lake Senior Photographer and you go to images, several of my images come up. And if you click on them, they link to an old blog post. So I still get people finding me on Google searches because of those blogs, because of those keywords that I put on those photos, because of keywords that I've put into my website. So taking time to really invest in things like that, it's beneficial, and it has such a longer shelf life. Some of my blog posts from 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago are still getting traffic because of those keywords, even though I put them up on my website, on my blog, years and years and years ago. Whereas again, if you talk about social media, your content is gone in a matter of hours. That's not really working for you anymore because so much content's been built on top of it. So SEO strategies like blogging and content and things like that you put out onto your website, you put out onto the internet, it has a much longer shelf life. And again, a little plug here, I also do done for you blog content for photographers. So if blogging is something that you're like, I don't like doing it, I don't want to think about it, I haven't done it forever because I don't have the time or I don't know what to say, I can help you with that. I create blog content for several photographers. I will even schedule it on your blog. I'll use your images, all the things. So if you're interested in that, feel free to reach out to me and I can tell you a little bit more about it. The second part of this one is the Google My Business.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you've been lied to. Somewhere along the way, you were told by all the experts out there that there was only one way to grow your photography business. It involved posting on social media, following trends, and showing up every day, and the clients would magically come rolling in. But here's the thing, that's not how marketing really works. If you felt like you've been doing all the things and still aren't getting booked, it's not because you're not working hard enough. It's because you're missing a key piece to your marketing strategy. And no amount of Instagram reels or posts are going to fix that. It also is difficult because you don't always know what your missing piece is. And what's missing for your business is not the same as what's missing for someone else. For this reason, I've created the perfect quiz to help you figure out what is missing in your business. It's called the number one reason you're not fully booked, and it's a quick, eye-opening quiz that will pinpoint exactly what's holding you back. In less than 2 minutes, you'll get clarity on the biggest marketing gap in your business, a personalized action plan delivered straight to your inbox, and the next steps to start booking more of your dream clients without the hustle and without the burnout. So stop wasting time on strategies that aren't working for you. Click the link in the show notes, take the quiz, and finally get the answers you've been looking for. This is something that gets overlooked a lot, but if you're wanting Google to share your content higher on a search, you kind of got to play the Google game. And one of the ways to do that is to create a Google My Business account where you have your business information out there. You can it'll collect all of your reviews. So if people go and review you on Google, which asking for reviews on Google is a great strategy at the end of a session, it will collect all of those. You can add photos, you can add, you can post on there, like updates and things like that, links, descriptions of what you offer. Like there's a ton of things you can put on there, but it's basically like creating an ad in the phone book back when the phone book was like the way you found people. It's like having a full page ad in the phone book, only it's a digital version and it's on the platform that you're already wanting people to use to find you. So you're just kind of playing to the Google game of, I'm going to create a profile on your page, on your company brand or whatever, so that maybe if I kind of build it up, you will see me as like, well, I'm part of the Google team. I'm going to share my, now you can share my website or my blog or whatever when someone searches for my content. So SEO and Google My Business are a great way to get more clients, because a lot of times people are going to Google to find what they want from you. They're not necessarily going to social media and searching for a photographer. They might, depending on the demographic of who you're targeting. But even the younger demographics are still using Google when they are like serious about finding a company or business to work with. Okay. Last but not least, strategy number 3. And again, this is not a concise list by any means, but strategy number 3 for the sake of this episode is networking and partnerships. This is huge. When you are a local business, one of the best things you can do for your business is to build relationships with other businesses in your area. When I was growing up, my parents ran our family business. It was a company they owned in Waco. It was from generations back. And every year it was a meat and seafood company. And they sold to local restaurants and they had a storefront and all the things. But one of the things they did every year is they had this huge crawfish boil every season, like every April. And they would partner with other businesses to kind of create this big event. And it became this thing to where like they sort of became known for their annual crawfish boil. And it got to be so big that they had to like move it out of their parking lot and they had to expand it and all these things. But it all came out of building relationships, building partnerships with other local businesses. And there were so many times that we would be out somewhere and my mom would see someone she knew and she'd say hi and she'd talk and I would be like so annoyed. But when I look back on it, she was networking every time that she was having those conversations. She might see someone who's out and be like, oh, that's so-and-so. They own the local flower shop in town. So she would go and say hi and she'd visit for a few minutes, because then she knew that if that person was talking to someone else who was like, yeah, I'm really not pleased with the lunch meat I get at the grocery store for my kids. Oh, you should go to my friend's local meat market. They sell really high-end fresh product, all the kind of stuff. They would refer their friend to my parents' business. That same mentality applies today. The more people that you have connections with, the more people that you have a face-to-face relationship with, the more likely you are to get their referral. And I know if you are an introvert, if you're someone who's like, I hate this part of my business, I get it. I totally get it. I'm not saying that you have to go out and cold call businesses. Okay. I'm not even saying that you need to go to networking events because that makes my skin crawl. I get it. I don't want to do those things either. I'm just saying take moments to be social when the opportunity arises, or put yourself in positions to be social. So little things like, just the other day, I had a client that came to me for headshots because her niece does my hair. And I have had people that were referred to me to do their daughter's senior photos through the makeup artist that I used, because I referred that makeup artist to someone else to do prom photos for a friend of a friend kind of thing. Just this last weekend at my daughter's dance competition, I'm talking to another mom about our kids' dances, and we were talking about, I don't even remember what we were talking about. I mentioned that I did photography, and she was like, oh my gosh, we've been looking for somebody to do headshots for my husband's company. I gave her my card. Like, you never know where your next client's going to come from. But it's one thing to network, and I'm using that in air quotes, to network on social media. That is not a personal networking connection. When you are face to face with somebody, when you have had a physical conversation with someone, when you have made a connection that way, it lasts so much longer and it has a much, much bigger impact. Think about your own life and how many times you have referred to somebody to a restaurant or to a hair salon or to a little boutique or a store or a coffee shop, because you have physically either been there, experienced it, or have a connection to them. The same applies to your business. If you want to grow your business, and I'm going to bet that most of you are local businesses, some of you might have, you travel or you do destination weddings or things like that. Most photographers are local based. You need to build a foundation in your community so that people know who you are, they know what you do, and they have a personal connection to you and a reason to refer you when their friends are asking for a photographer in whatever it is that you do. Okay, again, I could go into such detail on all three of these. I'm going to keep this kind of high level for today because, again, I want to kind of honor the idea of keeping these episodes to around 20 to 25 minutes, and we're at about the 20-minute mark now. So I'm going to wrap things up. But these are, if you are struggling or feeling frustrated with your marketing or lack of results from your marketing, these are 3 good places to start. Because even if you just start looking at every opportunity that every time you leave the house to try to talk to one person and be social, that doesn't mean you have to tell them about your business. It doesn't mean that you have to go out there and, proselytize or whatever, proselytize your business, things like that. Just go out and have conversations with people. Then I think that you will find it becomes easier and easier and easier. And other things like email marketing and SEO strategies, those are things you can do from the comfort of your home, on your couch in your pajamas, and they will have huge impacts in your business. So again, if this is something that you have been struggling with and you've been wanting to really grow your marketing side of your business, these are some great places to start. And like I said in the episode, I do offer help with all of this. So done for you email marketing, done for you blog content. I even help with some social media content if you are going that route. So if that is something that you're like, Kendra, these all sound amazing, I don't have the capacity to do any of this right now, then reach out to me. I am more than happy to create a package that is perfect for you and what your business needs to get this at least started for you in your business so that you can start seeing the benefit and the results of these. You can send me an email at kendra@girlmeansbusiness.com or just head over to Girl Means Business on Instagram and send me a DM. All right, friend, thank you so much for being here again this week. I hope you found this incredibly helpful, and I will see you back here next week, same time, same place.